Okay. This is genito-urinary system or urogenital system review for female cats. And so we're going to have two stipulations on this review. We're going to assume that this structure right here, this uterine horn, which I'm magically crazy gluing together, was never cut. Likewise, we're going to pretend that this ureter right here, which I'm magically crazy gluing together, was never cut. So those structures we're going to pretend are still intact for the purpose of this review on the female cat. So we have the kidney here. From the kidney we have the ureter that's coming out. We can follow it down. They can pretend that's connected. The ureter comes down and it attaches to the urinary bladder. The spot where it attaches to the kidney is called the hilum. Also attaching on the hilum we have the renal vein here with blue dye. Posterior to that, here with the red dye, we also have the renal artery. Superior to the kidney, we have this bean shape, that is the adrenal gland. The adrenal gland on the cat is slightly off the kidney. Unlike the human, the adrenal gland rests on the kidney. On the cat, it's off. So anywhere in this general area where you may find a small bean is going to be the adrenal gland. On the other side, we have the same structures. We have the kidney here. And then attaching to the kidney at the hilum, we have this blue dye structure. Let me move this out of the way so you can see. That will be the renal vein. And here, this pink dyed structure is going to be the renal artery. And then here, this was also cut. We have the ureter coming down on this side, but that was cut also on this cat. All right, as they come down, both ureters are going to empty into the urinary bladder, and the urinary bladder will continue, and it'll be the urethra. And that's the flow of the urine. We're going to pause there for urinary system, and we're going to go to the female reproductive system. We see here between the urinary bladder and the large intestine, we have this Y-shaped structure. And so this Y-shaped structure is going to be the uterine body and the uterine horns. That's how we're going to identify the female cat. The male cat will not have this large Y-shaped organ in between the urinary bladder and the large intestine. If we follow the urinary horns superiorly on both sides, we'll see a bean at the end there, and this bean that the tip of my probe is now touching is the ovary. Around that ovary is a cup. Typically that's lateral, and the tip of the probe is now touching that cup that surrounds the ovary. That cut-shaped structure is the oviduct, also known as fallopian tube, also known as uterine tube. As we follow this uterine horn inferiorly, that brings us to the uterine body. Please note that the uterine horn is a structure only found in cats. Uterine horn is not present in human beings. From this uterine body, we're going to move this urinary bladder out of the way. We're going to follow that inferiorly. There's a thickened portion here, which on this cat is actually visible. Looks like a little pebble stuck in there. You can also palpate it. It's a little thicker. That is the cervix. Just distal inferior to the cervix, we'll have the vagina. If you remember, we left off the urinary system with the urethra. As we follow that inferiorly and we follow the vagina inferiorly, the two join together. Where the vagina and the urethra join together, that is called the urogenital sinus. Urogenital sinus is only in the cat. The vagina and the urethra, they join together to form the one common tube, urogenital sinus, and they will exit the cat as one external opening. Cat only urogenital sinus. The external genitalia in the female cat is known as the vulva. And that completes the urogenital system review for the female cat.